This is the legendary 2.6 Hog Cycle, a deck built on speed, precision, and pure skill. It revolves around Hog Rider as the win condition, supported by Musketeer for air and range defense, Cannon for building control, and cheap cycle cards like Skeletons and Ice Spirit to outplay heavy pushes. With Ice Golem for kiting and Fireball plus Log for spells, this deck can defend almost anything if played correctly. If you master these cards, you master the game. Even in 2026, this deck is still used by top ladder and pro players. But many players use 2.6 and still lose. Why? Because they don't understand the basics, the timing, and the placements. So in this video, I'll explain 2 important attack points, 2 important defense points, and 1 bonus pro tip that most players ignore. If you really want to master 2.6 Hog Cycle, watch this video till the end. Before starting, let's understand the most important thing. The main player in 2.6 Hog Cycle is the Hog Rider. Hog Rider is your only attacking card. You cannot rely on Musketeer or Fireball to destroy towers. Your main damage always comes from Hog Rider hits. That's why timing, elixir management, and decision-making are extremely important in this deck. Before I start explaining attack and defense, there is something extremely important you must understand. In 2.6 Hog Cycle, your Princess Tower is everything. If you lose your Princess Tower at the start of the match, it becomes very difficult to defend any push with 2.6. This deck is not designed to defend without Princess Tower support. So remember this clearly, if you lose your Princess Tower early, most of the time you lose the game. That's why you should never overcommit in the beginning. Play safe, play smart. Know your opponent's deck early. Another very important rule, in 2.6 Hog Cycle, you must identify your opponent's deck within the first 2 minutes, before 2x elixir starts. Why? Because this deck depends heavily on correct spell usage. For example, if your opponent has Royal Hogs, your Fireball must always be ready. If your opponent has Skeleton Barrel, your Log must be saved. If your opponent has Graveyard, you must plan your defense early. Using the wrong spell at the wrong time can instantly cost you the game. Clash Royale is a strategy game. It is a game of knowing your opponent, predicting their next move, and making the right strategy. That's why in the beginning, don't rush, don't panic, don't mess up your spell cycle. A clean and calm start wins you more games than aggressive play. Attack points. Attack point 1. When to use Hog Rider. The biggest mistake 2.6 players make is spamming Hog Rider randomly. The best time to play Hog Rider is at the start of the match or when your opponent is low on elixir. This usually happens after a long or heavy push. For example, your opponent attacks with a heavy push. You defend it using Cannon, Musketeer, and Ice Golem. After that defense, your opponent doesn't have much elixir left. This is the perfect moment to play Hog Rider. At this time, there is a 90% chance that your Hog Rider will get at least 2 to 4 hits. Even 1 hit is more than enough in 2.6. Remember, 2.6 wins by chip damage, not by destroying towers in one push. Attack point 2. Using Fireball properly. Fireball is one of the most important cards in 2.6 Hog Cycle. You can use Fireball in both attack and defense. Defensively, Fireball is perfect against enemy Hog Rider. It helps stop support troops in heavy pushes. Offensively, if your opponent places a Musketeer, Wizard, or Witch near their King Tower, you can wait. When that card reaches the Princess Tower, you use Fireball. This gives you double value. Enemy support card goes down or becomes low HP. You also deal direct damage to the Princess Tower. Fireball is also useful to stop your opponent from building a heavy push, force them to defend instead of attacking. These 2 points, Hog timing and Fireball value, are the best ways to attack with 2.6. Defense is the most important thing in 2.6 Hog Cycle. One of the strongest defensive combinations in this deck is Cannon with Ice Golem or Skeletons, but which card you use depends on the type of enemy troop. If the opponent is using area damage troops like Mega Knight, Dark Prince, Valkyrie, then Ice Golem plus Cannon is the best option. Ice Golem tanks and distracts, while Cannon gives constant damage, resulting in a solid and safe defense. But if the opponent is using single target damage troops like Pekka, Mini Pekka, Prince, then instead of Ice Golem, you should use Skeletons with Cannon. Skeletons are much better here because single target troops can only hit 1 skeleton at a time. Cannon keeps pulling and damaging the troop. You get more value with less elixir. This gives you a much more positive elixir trade compared to using Ice Golem. Knowing when to use Ice Golem and when to use skeletons is what separates an average 2.6 player to a pro player. Defense point 2, Triangle Technique. Now let's talk about the triangle technique. This technique is used to defend against a heavy push. In this technique, we make a triangle using Princess Tower, Cannon, Musketeer. Cannon pulls the tank. Musketeer gives high DPS from distance. Princess Tower supports with extra damage. This is one of the best ways to defend heavy pushes. And if your King Tower is activated, this technique becomes even more powerful because the King Tower also helps in damage. Now here is your bonus point. It is called the Perfect Placement Technique. With perfect placement, skeletons can take down Sparky Ice Spirit, and skeletons can activate King Tower. You can get massive value with very low elixir. Perfect placement separates good players from pro players. If you want to learn skeleton placements, Ice Spirit placements, King Tower activation placements, make sure to subscribe and press the notification bell because I upload daily shorts for placement tips. Best 2.6 Hog Cycle using evolutions and hero. Now, before concluding, let me tell you which is the best 2.6 Hog Cycle version using evolutions and hero according to me. In my opinion, the best setup is Evo Skeletons, Evo Musketeer, Hero, Ice Golem. Some people prefer Evo Ice Spirit, but honestly, Evo Ice Spirit does not give as much value as Evo Skeletons. Evo Skeletons are extremely powerful because they force your opponent to respond immediately. And if even one Evo Skeleton connects to the tower, it can completely change the game. In many cases, it's game over for the opponent. Now, let's talk about Evo Musketeer. Evo Musketeer is a much better choice than Evo Cannon because she survives longer. She kills many more enemy cards. She provides huge defensive value from long distance. Evo Musketeer helps against heavy pushes, air troops, support cards behind tanks. That's why, instead of Evo Cannon, Evo Musketeer is the smarter and more versatile option. So, according to me, Evo Skeletons plus Evo Musketeer plus Hero Ice Golem is the best and most balanced 2.6 Hog Cycle deck choice in 2026. So to summarize, here is the main points. Hog Rider is your main attacking card. Timing and elixir management are everything. Defense creates offense in 2.6. Positive elixir trade is the key to winning, and perfect placement makes you unstoppable. 2.6. Hog Cycle is not dead. It just requires skill, patience, and practice. If this video helped you, like, subscribe, and comment below. See you in the arena.